everybody! 大家好! I welcome you to Jade Palace Yamingo. My name is Yaya. A man so pretty that he comes home with a cart full of fruit. Let's get started. 国民老公 or national husband is a term used by netizens about a usually male celebrity that is so pretty they become their husband. But pretty boys aren't just a modern preference. Did you know that there is a list of the top 5 most beautiful men in ancient China? Legit, a top 5 hottest guys list, one of which was Pan An. This man wasn't just a pretty face. Pan An was a famous writer and politician from the Jin Dynasty, born to a family of scholars. His grandfather was the governor of Anping, and his father, the governor of Langya. He inherited his family's talents. As a child, he was incredibly intelligent, and many people believed that he was a prodigy. Being both beautiful and successful, you would have expected his career to be incredibly successful. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Instead, what made him special also made him a victim of jealousy. Let's rewind a little and talk about what was going on during this time period, just to get a clear picture of what was happening. The Jin Dynasty was right after the Three Kingdoms period, a time of turmoil and power grabbing. It was founded by Sima Yan, the Emperor Wu of Jin. But once he died, Emperor Hui succeeded the throne. Because Emperor Hui was developmentally disabled, Yang Jun, a relative of the emperor, assisted in governing. His wife, Empress Jia Nanfeng, was a jealous, violent, and domineering woman who had methods of controlling her husband. She was constantly fighting with Yang Jun for power. We'll get back to this, but this is really important. Enter Pan An. As I said before, despite his advantages, his career wasn't really great. When he was around 19 years old, he moved to Luoyang, the imperial capital. Here he worked as an assistant in the Ministry of Works. He would be unable to advance his career for a decade. What can I say? He was attractive and smart. His colleagues were jealous of him and would constantly obstruct his career path. The highest position he would ever attain was Undersecretary of the Yellow Gate, and as a 7th rank official as county magistrate. While these might sound good, it definitely was not for someone of his talent. Around 270 CE, he worked as an aide to Jia Chong, a high-ranking official of the court. By late 278 CE, Pan An, at 31, hated his job. Mood. He was so disillusioned with official life that he decided to retire and take care of his sick mother. He would come out of retirement around 282 CE to serve as a magistrate, and in 287 CE, he would return to Luoyang to serve in official positions. And unfortunately, that wouldn't last. More tragedy would strike his career. Back to Empress Jia, she was still fighting with Yang Jun for power. So she decides to kill him. Pan An, unfavored by the court, becomes the scapegoat. He is implicated for Yang Jun's death and was demoted to commoner status around 291 CE. But around 295 CE, Pan An would return to the capital again, but for the final time. Enter our next character, Jia Mi. The empress, ruling under the emperor's name, shared power with her closest family members, one of which was Jia Mi. He was the empress's nephew. Pan An's career would peak with this man, and his life would end with him. By this time, the Jia family dominated the government. Pan An would participate with the activities of the 24 Friends of Golden Valley Gardens, a faction of scholars headed by Jia Mi. He would write propaganda for the Jia family, and Jia Mi admired him so much that Pan An would become his closest and most trusted ally. Crazy thing, Pan An's mother saw through all of this. She was an intelligent woman and told him not to get too close to Jia Mi, as she saw that he would become the end of Pan An. Did he listen? Nope. It would all go downhill as Empress Jia sought to depose the crown prince, and Pan An participated in the plot. They got the prince drunk, and Pan An wrote an article. He urged the prince to copy it under the guise of helping him. Instead, it was a statement declaring that he intended to overthrow and murder the emperor and empress to take over the throne. Being drunk, he copied it word for word unknowingly. The declaration was presented to the court, resulting in the crown prince being deposed to commoner status. He would be assassinated later on under the empress's order. It would have been fine, but the outcome resulted in a coup, which overthrew the empress and all those associated with her, including Jia Mi and Pan An. While Pan An wasn't part of the plotting, he assisted. He and his whole family were arrested and executed. That was his life. Pretty tragic. Sadly, he's remembered more for his looks than his political career. But how pretty was he? While we don't have photographic evidence of how truly beautiful he was, we do have historically written evidence. The extent of his attractiveness comes from a story called 治国迎车, to throw fruit into a carriage until it is full. According to legend, during his time in the capital, every time Pan An would leave his house, women and men of all ages would line up just to get a glimpse of him. He would leave his house in an empty carriage, but return home with a carriage full of fruit. His fans, in a unique way to express their admiration and garner his attention, would throw fruit into his carriage. Every day was a pretty good harvest for him. Even though Pan An was incredibly pretty, he wasn't flirtatious nor a playboy. He only had one wife, and he loved her very much. Yang Rongji was engaged to him when she was young, and her father was a family friend. They loved each other so very much, even though their marriage was arranged. She loved peach blossoms, so he made sure to plant peach trees throughout the city so that they can wander through a shower of peach blossoms every spring. They had 2 children, a son and a daughter. However, the son died before he can be even given a name, and the daughter died at 12. The death of her children seemed to be a heavy blow, as Yang Rongji died at 49, leaving her husband behind, alone. He never remarried, never took any concubines. That's how much he loved her. He was so heartbroken at the loss that he wrote 寡妇赋, Rhapsody of a Widow, one of his many masterpieces. Pan An was also sometimes seen as a symbol of filial piety, especially in the Song Dynasty. Written in the 24 filial pieties, Pan An resigned from office in order to take care of his sick mother, making him an example of filial piety. However, he was taken off in later revisions because scholars argue that since he didn't listen to his mother regarding Jia Mi, resulting in her execution, that it was pseudo instead of genuine filial piety. While we know him as Pan An now, his name was Pan Yue or Pan An Ren. Why the change of name, we're not exactly sure. It could be related to his death, since he was executed for being part of a coup, and his name was changed due to his crime. But some historians believe that the Ren was omitted in order for words to rhyme in poetry. Pan An's literary works were considered masterpieces. Some of his earlier works were complimented by Sima Yan himself, which didn't help the jealousy of his colleagues. Finally, there are some idioms related to Pan An and his legacy. If anyone says to you that you 貌若潘安, it's a compliment. 貌若潘安 means to look like Pan An. So if anyone says that to you, they're saying that you are very attractive. 路才如海, 攀才如江. Lu's talent is like the sea. Pan's talent is like the river. This commends Pan An's talent by saying that his talent is equal to another famous literateur, Lu Ji. While Pan An was known for his beauty, he was more than that. He was deeper than that. It impacted his life, and it ended it. I have a Teespring if you'd like to support the channel. I have a lot of super cute designs that I'm really proud of, so please check it out if you can. Link is in the description below. So what do you guys think? What do you think of Pan An and his life? Leave a comment down below because I would like to know. You can also let me know what topics you'd like to see me cover in the future. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to Jade Palace Yamingong. I would very much appreciate it. And until next time, 再见了，拜拜。